Prabhu, you are the.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, Hare Krishna to all of you. Dhanavad Pranam. Yeah, thank you so much, Jagju and Prabhuji and all the devotees for giving me the opportunity to present today's topic. I really seek your blessings so that I can speak in a way which purifies myself, and probably can add some value to me and all the devotees. Thank you so much. So today's topic is chosen the art of mind control. So this, before I start the presentation, I would express my gratitude to His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Charan Prabhu and Amarendra Prabhu, because this matter is taken, mostly it has taken from them. Om Ganati Mirandasya Gananjana Shalaga Chakshun Mitandana Dashma Sikara Kamakati Bhasalam Kribatam Nandis Shiguru Shiguru Dinatari Prabhuji, am I audible? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Can
Yes,
somebody
Prabhu,
speak?
you are audible.
Yes,
You are
Prabhu.
audible.
You are audible.
Okay, fine. So the topic is the art of mind control. So things which I have to say today is what is mind, the importance of controlling the mind, evidence of control and uncontrolled mind and their outcome, ways and means to control the mind, and then take care. So first is what is mind. So if you want to know to control mind, you should know what is mind is, what the mind is. Get a clear idea of it. So in Bhagavad Gita, it offers us three levels of existence of the self, which is physical, mental, and spiritual. Physical means is the body, and then mental is mind, and spiritual is the soul. To understand this mind, one of the easiest metaphor will be the computer system, which we all are using in everyday life. So computer system have three items mainly. One is the hardware, the software, and the user. The hardware is compared to the body, and the software is compared to the mind, and the user is compared to the soul. Now in these three, soul is the, out of these three, soul is the source of consciousness. Because if the soul is not there in the body become unconscious. So the soul supplies the consciousness throughout the body. The consciousness pervades from the soul throughout the body. But for the outer world, if the soul want to give this or pass this consciousness, it has to go through the mind. Or in other words, the mind is the indispensable link for the soul to interact with the outer world. Yeah, in another way, mind is a kind of storehouse. It's all the impressions which we are experiencing from our childhood through the different senses. The mind have the impression on it. Like whatever we have seen from our childhood up to today through our eyes, then whatever I have heard through our ears, whatever we have smelled through our nose, everything, all the impression is stored in the mind. It's like a computer memory. But it's not only the memory, it receives the impressions of all the senses, and then it stores it, and then it remits also. Means it pops up those impressions in different time, in different intensity, and it does not have any rules and regulation how these things will pop up. Yeah, but it mostly depends on the intensity of the emotions which is associated with those senses, what you call feelings and sensing. So yeah, and then another thing about the mind is it can process around 80 to 90,000 thoughts a day. Means every second, almost every second, one thought is being processed by human mind. So that's how that's how about the mind. Now we'll go to the next one, which is the importance of controlling the mind. Next one. Yeah, importance of controlling the mind. Some of the most common questions we have in life is that how to control mind, how to stop the chattering voice of the mind, how to make the mind quiet and calm. In Bhagavad Gita also, when Krishna was explaining to Arjuna the process of meditation in chapter 6, Krishna was telling Arjuna that controlling the mind is very important to be able to learn the meditation. Then Arjuna come up with this shloka, Bhagavad Gita 6.34. Arjuna says, Chanchalam hi manaha Krishna pramati balabadhiram tatsa ham nigraham manni baur eva sudushkaram. Translation is, for the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very, very strong. Very strong. Oh Krishna, and to subdue it seems to me more difficult than controlling the wind. So Arjuna, which is so powerful warrior, who is a friend of Krishna and a devotee of Krishna, he is telling that for me, controlling the wind is okay, I can try for it, but controlling the mind is not possible. So if Arjuna, person like Arjuna says like this, then what to speak about us? So if we try to control mind on our own effort without any help from others, without understanding the technique and the process to control the mind, without the help from the superior authority, we are definitely going to fail immeasurably. There's no doubt about it. And that's why it's very important to know how to control the mind. And there is another shloka in Srimad Bhagavatam which says about the mind, 11:23-42. It says about the what causes the happiness and distress in our life. Dijau vacha nayam janami sukadukha hetur madevatatma graha karma kala mana param kara nama mananti samsara chakram parivartadyat. The Brahmana said, these people are not the cause of my happiness and distress. Neither are the demigods, my own body, the planets, my past or time. Rather, it is the mind alone that causes happiness and distress and perpetuates the rotation of material life. So, this shloka says the mind alone is the cause of my happiness and distress. So, it's so important to know about the mind and how to control it. Another shloka in Bhagavad Gita, Uddharet atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet atmaivo hi atmano bandhur atmaivo ripur atmanaha. One must deliver himself with the help of mind, not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. So this says that mind can be a best friend, good friend, and it can be enemy. So it's like if you go to a competitive exams or competition, where there will be questions which is having a negative marks. If you can answer the question, you get 10 marks, but if it is wrong answer, then you get -10 marks. So we should be very careful to answering this sort of questions, you know. So here also similar things, that if you can control the mind, it becomes your friend, which you get 10 marks, and then if you cannot, then it becomes your enemy, means minus 10 marks, you know. So it's very important to deal with these things, you know, the mind. So all these three shlokas together, we can understand how important, how powerful the mind is, and how difficult to control the mind. Now we'll see some evidences of control and uncontrolled mind and their outcome. In Mahabharata, we can see Ravana. Ravana had Ravan, he was the king of Lanka. He had everything in possession, money, fame, all the opulences he had. But only one thing he missed, he didn't have the control mind. He had 10 heads. All the 10 heads is going outwards, you know. He's wanting more and more and more. There's no end of it. And because of that, he failed miserably, and he ended life. Now, whereas we have Dashrath Maharaj in the city of Ayodhya, wherein he also have similar opulences like Ravan, but main difference between Ravan and Dashrath was that he had a controlled mind. His name is Dashrath. Dashrath means 10, it signifies the 10 senses. He was able to control all his 10 senses in word, like a tortoise. That's why he was the winner. Yeah, he was very successful king. Everybody in his family, friends, and all the citizens in the kingdom was very happy. So that's the difference between control mind and uncontrolled mind. Another example we have is Duryodhana and Yudhishthira. Similar thing. Duryodhana also have everything in his possession, but because of his greediness, because of his uncontrolled mind, he was not ready to give even the 5 places which Pandava asked for. Yeah, and they were the legitimate owner of the kingdom, you know, but Duryodhana didn't agree, and because of that, what happened? He failed miserably. And on the other hand, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was very controlled, calm. Because of his controlled mind, he was able to win everything. He was able to rule his kingdom nicely. He was very loving, so everybody around him in his kingdom, everybody was very happy. So then another example we can see in the modern days, Michael Jackson. He was so successful pop singer. He had everything, all the material possession he had, but only problem was his uncontrolled mind. Because of that, he ended his life miserably. He was addicted also, and then he suicide. So another example we can give, Srila Prabhupada. At the age of 65, without any money, he went to America to preach Krishna consciousness. This shows that how strong mind, how controlled mind he had. Well, he was devotee. That's another thing, but definitely that devotion gave him a very stable and controlled mind, which helped him to go to America. So, with a controlled mind, from this example, you can understand. With a controlled and peaceful mind, we can be happy anywhere, even under a tree. With a controlled mind, we will remain unhappy everywhere. Now, the main thing, how to control this mind. So far we have understood that how important the mind is. And then let's see how to control this important things. So there are few aspects of mind control which should be kept in mind in controlling the mind, you know. So before we go to the techniques of controlling mind, let's keep these things in mind. And one of the things is that as we are mostly identify ourselves with the gross body, and we are embodied in this gross body, so we understand the gross things easily. Yeah. So when you understand things easily, you can probably be able to control also. But mind is a subtle element. We cannot see that, we cannot feel it. So that's why being a subtle element, mind is very not easy to control, as we can do with gross elements. And then another thing about the mind is we are not being the spiritual, we are not human being with a spiritual experience, but we are a spiritual being with a human experience. We need to, that's why, because we are a spiritual being, so we need a spiritual means which is more compatible to us. The compatibility means that, like if two persons have a similar frequency, similar mindsets, so they easily go along with that, So it's called compatibility. Another example, I work in a refinery, refinery, which has been built 20 years before, but still the refinery is running. But in these 20 years, there's a lot of technological development has taken place. Yeah. Now we try to utilize those latest technology to make some kind of modification and repair in the refinery. Now the refinery which was built in 20 years before, now we are utilizing the latest technology, so we have a problem in compatibility. So when we're trying to do something in the refinery, this old refinery with the latest technology, the first thing which comes to our mind is that, are they compatible? So sometimes we go to the very old record, 20 years before record, what is the material used, what is the process used, and what we are going to use now, are they compatible? If they are not compatible, we will be wasting our resources and will fail. So compatibility is very, very important. Similarly, we being the spiritual being, we need a compatible means to solve our problems. So let's see what is this compatible means are. The mind in the past tendencies and habits will often go up to unwanted directions. If we consider the hierarchy, the mind, and below mind we have the material world. Yeah, and above the mind we have the intelligence. So to control the mind is in between. Above the intelligence and below we have the material world. So we'll try to use two prongs attack to the mind to control it. Yeah, from the outer world and from the inner world as well. From the outer world is the regulations. What we call it the external regulations, and from the inner world we'll use the internal intention grounded in conviction. Yeah. So our intelligence should work like it's like a umpire. In cricket we see umpire, and after the bowling team, yeah, normally they'll appeal very, very loudly to the umpire. Now, if the umpire is not very trained and very knowledgeable, because of this strong appeal, every time he is going to raise his hand. Yeah, so I mean, every time they are appealing and he's raising his hand, nobody would like this kind of umpire. So umpire has to know when to say no and when to say yes. Yeah, how that depends on the conviction of the intelligence. Our intelligence also should be trained, should be knowledge. It can say, the mind will say every time, I want this, let's go there, let's do this. Every time he'll appeal like a bowling team, but then umpire with our intelligence should be able to say no, it's not, or yes, it is. So that kind of things. Now for intelligence to do that, we need to go through these don'ts and do's. So let's see what is don'ts. Don'ts means don't give easy access to the things which our mind or senses want to indulge in. Yeah? Because if it is easily accessible, yeah, it's there in front of our eyes, we'll try to tend to take it. But if there is an obstacle between the indulgence and the mind, then we will try to avoid. For example, if a drunkard is take a house besides the drinking bar, it's not possible for him to quit the drinking. So what he is to do? He should take a house which is very far away from the drinking bar. So that if you want to enjoy, he has to come all the way, which will take some time. And in this time lag, probably he will think. His intelligence will try to think and try to guide him. Probably he will change his mind and he will not indulge into those things. So similarly, if we want to eat prasadam, let's say, devotee want to eat prasadam, but sometimes we bring something from outside and keep on your dinner table. Very nice, looking very nice. So if we keep on the dinner table something which looks very nice, looks sumptuous, and we say no, we want to take prasadam, it's not a good idea, So what we need to do is better not to buy any outside items and bring home, or even if you bring something for your kids, keep it inside, which we cannot see easily or which is not accessible. So another example, pizza. Lover says if somebody is very hungry, you go to the pizza outlet and let's say take away pizza. Now when he's hungry, he knows pizza is tasty and he want to take away. So, but he see that there are 15 cars waiting in that queue. So what the mind will say then? Mind will say no, it will take a long time. Let's go. So because of this inaccessibility of this object of indulgence, the mind is changing his mind. So when there is obstacle between the indulgence and the mind is going to change his idea. Yeah. So that's why we need to create a abstraction between those two. And then another don't is that don't make inaccessible which is very good for them, good for us. For example, if we want an association, don't take a flat very far away from Discovery Garden in somewhere else, So I mean, now it's a COVID situation is different, but in normal cases, if we take a flat very far away from where association is available, then you cannot, it's inaccessible, So you sometimes will not come. Your mind will give some excuse. Or today we have this problem, I have a cough, All the excuses will be found and will not come to the association. And then another thing, if you want to take a darshan of synergy, better not to stay in this Discovery Garden. Go to Bardhabai and take a flat near to Synergy Temple, where our Parameshwar Prabhu is staying, and almost every day is going to this Synergy Darshan, So like that, don't make inaccessible which is good for us and make accessible which is not good for us. And then now, do's, what we should do then? The do's are A, B, C, D, E. A is association. Association is very, very important. It's like if you have a rotten apple in a basket of apple, you see, after some time, all the apple will be rotten. Yeah? And then if you have a flowery garden, even you may not have flower, but you get the fragrance of the flower. So like that, association is very, very important. If a cricketer wants to mix with the cricketer, you need to associate with the cricketer. If a businessman, if you want to be a businessman, you need to associate with the businessman so that you can get the idea from them. You can have their vision, vision for a big business, If you want to chanting, again you have to go for association. Yeah, like our Santa Gopeshwar Prabhu is chanting Brahma Muhurta, 16 rounds. So if anybody is interested to do chanting 16 rounds in Brahma Muhurta every day, better we talk to Santa Gopeshwar Prabhu. And probably you can go to his house, and not now, and probably now you cannot do that, but later on you can go to his house and join chanting. And then, so that's the power of association. And then B, book reading. Now to know right or wrong and to say yes or no, then we have to go through the scriptures, because they are our guidance, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So unless we go through the scriptures, then we cannot understand or have a confidence what is right or wrong. So that's book reading. And then chanting. Chanting is mantra. Mantra means mantra. Man, which is trayate, means deliver, or release from anxiety. So man is released from anxiety by the mantra, which we need to chant, which is Maha Mantra. So that's how chanting is. And then deity worship. Deity worship means when you worship the deity, do the arati and all, you serve the Lord, and you get get attachment to the Lord. And then you offer the prasadam, eat the prasadam, So this deity worship and the diet. That diet also you can try to control your senses. All this A, B, C, D are in place, and then you get the etiquette of Vaishnavas. Yeah, what is etiquette of Vaishnavas? One of the etiquette of Vaishnavas is they have a very firm conviction in the intelligence. So that's we got to acquire. So then when we acquire this conviction through this process of A, B, C, D, then we'll be able to say yes or no to our mind. Mind will appeal anytime, but our intelligence will say no or yes. But now, even if you want to do those 4 ABC, is there any guarantee that I'll be able to do in a way it's supposed to be done and get the required results? The answer is no. You can see many of the devotees, even we are doing this ABCD, we are doing, but we are not able to do in a way it is supposed to be done. That's why you are not getting the proper results. So there is a shloka in Bhagavad Gita in this direction, 18.14. Adhishtanam tatha karta karanam cha prithak vidam vividasya prithak seshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. The place of action, the body, the performer, the various senses, the many different kinds of endeavor, and ultimately the super soul. These are the 5 factors of action. So this means that to make anything happen, even if you want to do good things, for that thing to take place, you need your own endeavor is not enough. There are 4 more entities whose inputs is required to make that happen. So it's not, you're not independent for making that things happen. But then what we should do then? If it's not, we cannot do it, then what we should do? What one thing we can do which doesn't depend on anybody else, only depend on me. Yeah, Krishna has given a independence for that thing to us, which is called our desire. We can have a desire, that desire takes place in our heart only, and Krishna has given full independence for your desire. Now, what to desire then? Yeah, if you want to sow a seed, it's better to sow a seed of a banyan tree who will become a very big one day and give shelter to many birds and many people. Isn't it? So if you want to have a desire, let's make the desire very nice one. What is that nice desire? Next one. Okay. The desire is possess a genuine and honest desire to serve the Lord with unintentional pure. Just so beautiful desire. If you have this desire, because this is everybody Krishna like, when all devotees like this kind of desire, it's very pure. Now, if you have this desire with a genuine intention, without any ambiguity in your mind that yes, I am firm in this, I want to render service to the Lord. And then it is like sowing a seed, and then after the heart, pray to the Lord for the same from the bottom of my heart. That please, my Lord, please fulfill my desire. This is what is going to happen if you have these 2 in place. Yeah, then you will feel the blessings of Guru and Gaura, even the mercy of the Lord. It will be there automatically because this desire is so nice, and you have the very genuinely from your bottom of your heart you have this desire, and then you pray to the Lord, then you automatically start feeling the blessings of your Guru and Gauranga and the mercy of the Lord. Then what is going to happen? It will increase the intensity of that desire also again increase because of you're feeling the blessings. Intensity and of the desire and honesty of your prayer will increase. It will go in a like a cyclic mode, and then because of that, what will happen next? Your anarthas will automatically will be driven away from you. You don't have to put much effort for that. Otherwise, without these blessings of the Guru and Gauranga of your senior Vaishnava, it's very difficult to get rid of the anarthas. You can see for yourself. There's some anartha with us, especially for me. I mean, I am trying to get rid of it from so long, but some of the anartha is so strong that cannot. Yeah, my intention is good. I am to get rid of that, but I cannot, you know. So that the blessings of Guru Gauranga and Senior Vaishnava and the mercy of the Lord is very, very important to drive away this anartha. So when the anartha goes away, then you will strengthen your inner conviction. Your intelligence become fully full of conviction, and then it's become easy for say to yes or no to your mind. So this is how to control your mind. But then there is another approach. This is one approach to control mind. Another approach, you see. But this approach is not really actually control the mind. This is called the process of conversion of mind. Is for example, suppose we have an enemy. Now how to win against the enemy? We go and fight with him. If you fight, then one person will be loser, one person will be winner. Then who is the winner? The loser is the loser, but the winner also is a loser. In a fight, both are loser. It does not give any result actually in the long term. So fighting is not a good idea. But the best way to make our enemy is the win over the enemy. Make the enemy your friend. If you can do that, you not only end the enmity, but that person becomes the source of your inspiration, source of your support. It's a very good idea. Similarly, mind also, you can convert the mind, not controlling, conversion of mind. How to convert the mind? By through the purification, process of purification. How to go about this? Yeah, you need to go about more we expose the mind to the pure stimuli. You know, the more we exposed to pure stimuli, more the mind will prompt us towards the pure actions. You know, so before also mind was popping up many things from your past experience, but here what are you doing? We're exposing to a pure stimuli, so then it will pop up those pure things. You know, so what are those pure stimuli? We have many pure stimuli. We discussed before also, and then. Yeah, in that case, what will happen? You don't have to control the mind, but you have to channelize those ideas, because mind is now going to give you the nice ideas, you know, because now it has been exposed to pure stimuli. Like if you go for book reading, chanting, then association, you know, so deity worship, all these things we have discussed, A, B, C, D. So if we expose mind to that, then mind will going to give you that only. You know, it will give us good idea. So in that case, mind is become our friend, you know. So we need to take it to become a joint venture. Before it was going against you, now it is in favor of you. So in this joint venture, so you quickly get better results. Okay. Now the pure stimuli you can explain in another way, that if you see an obscene movie, yeah, and if you see uplifting movie, what is the difference? The obscene movie is going to make you down, you know, an uplifting movie is going to make you up. So this is the purer way of relatively pure exposure of the mind to a better things, you know, uplifting movie. But this is not the best things. The most effective purification is fixing the mind on Krishna through devotional service. Why? Krishna is fully opulent. He have everything in his place, and he is most loving. And he is not. I mean, fixing your mind to object, the object is not going to react with you. You know, whatever you put your endeavor to do that, that is your gain. But when you fix your mind to Krishna, it is not your effort alone, because Krishna is not a passive. He's not a passive. See, he's not a passive object of meditation, but an active agent of transformation. When you fix your mind, because Krishna is so loving, so compassionate, he wants your good more than even you. So he is going to act when you fix your mind on Krishna. Yeah, Krishna is going to reveal his attractive features to your mind to attract your mind. You know, it's like you can use a metaphor when somebody fall in the well, you know, and he's trying to come up from the well. What is going to happen? He may be successful. I mean, he may not be. But if somebody gives him a rope, he's just going to hold on to the rope, and somebody from outside is going to put him. And that's what happens when you fix your mind to Krishna. Krishna is going to take you out. Yeah, so it's so beautiful. So you become much more powerful. So this is called, so fixing the mind on Krishna through devotional process, yeah, which gives rise to emotional attachment to Krishna, is the best way to control the mind. See, the emotion is coming into picture here, because mind can register more. You're emotional with something, the mind will register it more deeply and try to pop up more frequently, you know. Before also we discussed that, you know, in childhood some memories still you have. Why? Because you had the emotion, deep emotion with that. So here in devotional service also we are having emotional attachment to Krishna, you know. That's why in NOD we have seen that ragatmika bhakti, you know. What is ragatmika bhakti? It's emotional. You become emotional about Krishna, you grow attachment to Krishna, so your mind cannot go anywhere. When you are emotionally attached to Krishna, the mind is going to be there only, you know. So it's going to be your best friend. Yeah. So Bhakti Yoga, the conclusion, the Bhakti Yoga is the most powerful propellant to purify the mind and making it our best friend. Okay, and now take away, the mind can be the best friend or the worst enemy. It's extremely difficult to control mind on action. Follow A, B, C, D to get E. Genuine desire to serve the Lord and heartfelt prayer for the same is the to control the mind, is to convert the mind through purification process. The best way to purify mind is through devotional service. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for hearing. Prabhuji, I finished my presentation. Thank you so much. Please advise me.
There are some questions, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
In the chat, it is there. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You can read the chat messages.
Okay. Just Prabhuji, I am not able to. Oh, yeah.
Okay, you unshare it. I'll read out.
This is not going. Why? I'm going from the presentation mode. I'm escaping. So going out, Prabhuji, remote options.
Okay, I'll share my screen, so it'll be easy.
Yeah, I could see the chat now. Yes. Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna. The main difference between humans and animals is the mind. What I understand, maybe I'm wrong. Controlling the mind this way is we are restricting the mind as well. By doing this, are we not reducing the exploring capabilities of our mind? You want to answer that, Prabhu?
Yeah, I'll try, Prabhuji. Then you are also there with me. Yes. So we are restricting mind is I mean, restriction is good if it's a positive restriction, you know. I mean, because you're going to give your mind more good things, so you become more creative, you know. Suppose your mind indulges with something wrong, then it's not good for the mind. The creativity of the mind is going to go down. So in that sense, good restriction is good always. Yeah, I mean, there is no absolute thing actually. You know, restriction is not always bad. For example, give example. I give a slap to Gopal sometimes, not now. He's big now, but but the intention is to, in extreme case, when he is in danger, suppose, you know, he's in danger, I give a slap also. Yeah. So that slap does not mean that it's bad. It's not a torture. It's for his good, to prevent him from going to a danger. So it's not, you cannot say I'm torturing him. You know, torturing is not good, but this is not bad. So like that, good restriction is a good. If you, I mean, if mind want to do something wrong, I will say, okay, you do it. What is going to happen? You'll go and more like that. You know, if Dimanta want to go to what you call play, whole day you want to play, you will say, okay, you go. So that restriction or balancing of the thing is always good things. Probably, if you want to add anything.
Actually, I will read the next question. My second question is it necessary, his Madhu Prabhu's question, My second question is it necessary to control the mind or to calm the mind so that it listens to us and helps us moving in spiritual path? Calming the mind helps in preventing thinking past and future and helps us to be in the present. Worldwide, particularly in the Buddhist tradition, people use the meditation technique for this. What is the standard ISKCON on meditation apart from mantra meditation?
Okay, this I think you need to help, but I'll try to say something on this. That is the second what do you call technique we used. Second technique is we are not restricting mind. No, we are trying to convert the mind. We are trying to make our mind a best friend. Yeah, and we ended up saying that mind has become a best friend with us. Yeah, by the way of purification process. Yeah, then it's not a problem. We are not restricting. Your previous questions also answered here. We are not really restricting in this process. We are making the mind more liberal and more cooperative and best friend of us. And what mind is saying, I am also doing the same thing. You know, so it's a good thing. Probably, if you can add something for us.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Madhu Prabhu, thanks a lot for asking very good questions. The first question is, yes, the downside of restriction is sometimes reducing the exploring capabilities of our mind. That is definitely there. There is always a downside in restricting or curtailing. But then the upside, but here the topic that is being talked, the realm of the topic is the devotional service. How we can improve in our devotional service. I think your question is mainly with respect to in the non-devotion thing, normal material matters. When you restrict your mind, definitely you're restricting the exploring capabilities of the mind. So in the material world, material scientists and all, even in offices, you know, the officers which have very good research and development organizations who spend a lot, they give a very free hand for people to think good, bad, positive, negative, up and down, east and west, north and south, because they want to have a very unrestricted flow of thinking that is correct for a material progress and a material mind. But in devotion, we don't have to do that, because all the path and whatever, there's nothing to be invented or researched in a devotional thing, but everything is given in black and white by the scriptures, by the very teachings of the God. So in that way, there is no need to be very free flow thinking, because the path is already set and everything is fixed. So in that context, there is no need to go haywire here and there. It is better stick to that path and go back. So I think I have answered your question, right, Madhu Prabhu? Can you give a feedback?
Yes, Prabhu. Thanks a lot for the clarification, Prabhu.
And even in the devotional service also, there are some places where people are given a freedom to think innovatively, innovative preaching, innovative book writing, innovative storytelling. A lot of things come, but within a realm of devotion. So, going to the second question, Prabhu, here, of course, ISKCON predominantly is based on the mantra meditation, because chanting japa is the Kali Yuga dharma, and this is given in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So our lifeline is controlling the mind. The only way to control the mind is to think about the Lord, or do the one through japa. Kalor nastaiva gatiranyada. This is what in the Puranas also stated. In the Kali Yuga, there is nothing other better than this. There is no alternative. And in Brihad Naradiya Purana, it is said, Natho Parataropaya Sarva Vedeshu Drishit. There is no other alternative than chanting the holy name. So it is dependent on mantra meditation predominantly. So there is no doubt in that. We don't have to be we don't have to go around the bush. It is that. It like International Society for Krishna Consciousness means the society is meant for those people to develop their consciousness on Krishna. There is no two ways about it, right? That's why Prabhupada wanted it to be Krishna conscious, not God conscious. So it's very specific. It is meant for that. It is meant for that. Period. And that is that is on mantra meditation. That's a stand or technique, stand, foundation, roof, lifeline, whatever you may call it. That's it. The other traditions may have mantra meditation, other meditations, transcendental meditation was there for some time. Buddhists meditate on some other thing. The yogis, the Shankara Parampara yogis meditate on some way. There are many ways of meditating, but this is the meditation that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught. So that's it. So we cannot debate which one is good or bad, but this is what it is, and it seems to work to millions and millions of people in the last 55 years than any other form of meditation. No other form of meditation in the world has gained so much of popularity like ISKCON. So if you go by statistics, it looks like it is okay for Kali Yuga. This is working. So that's all I can say.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we will go to the thing as a part of the normal our protocol and a procedure. We will just quickly go through the. You're able to see my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, we can see.
Yeah. Okay. So the definitely positive points. Good choice for the topic because it's relevant to our devotional practice. Any topic that is relevant to our devotional practice obviously becomes a good topic, right? And subject seems to be well researched. A calm and quiet controlled narration. Attempt to share a lot of information was there. It's good. Problem and solution were well articulated, particularly at the end. Prabhu told what is the problem and what is the solution. One of the solutions is A, B, C, D, E. And converting the mind is an interesting concept that he has brought in. However, there are some points that I wanted to share as recommendation when such things are there. Michael Jackson example appears to be very misplaced. Avoid them unless they make some sense, make a very powerful point. In one place you are talking about Ravana, Dasharatha and Michael Jackson. Definitely it doesn't fit into the bill there. And in what way Michael Jackson's mind was not controlled, it was not articulated well also. Michael Jackson, I don't think he has a problem of mind control. He had other problems of depression and something like that. So I think it's a bit misplaced. Try to avoid those uncomfortable things which may divert the attention of the audience. And presentation had a very story reading flavor. As if Prabhuji is reading from the presentation. He has put a lot of text on the presentation. It just is like a nice story reading flavor. Because there are certain places where they also read the stories. It's a very interesting thing that happens nowadays. Also, it's gaining popularity. Instead of doing the presentation, people present it as a story reading. Today morning, I was there. I was going through a big program which is organized in America with the young story writers. They come on board and tell the story. They read their own story. So Prabhuji's lecture, the class looked to me in that flavor. It did not. I didn't get a flavor of a class. It was like more of a he was reading and telling the information. If that is an intended way, that is fine, because he wanted to drive the topic as a story, as a story reading flavor, reading on the slides, through the slides, flowing in a calm, quiet manner. That is his aim. That was fine. If it is not, and like the Prabhu did not want it to be story reading, but we are getting it like a story reading, then he has to do certain changes. The narration flow has to be changed with pauses and questions. This is a topic where you can put a lot of question marks in the slide itself. What is mind? There are some few places he has put it, but he can put more question marks and reduce the text. So that will prompt him to talk more than just read it over. Again, I repeat, if it is not his intention to treat it like a story reading, so it depends. I cannot judge his intention, so I cannot comment on this. But it's a point that he has to make a note in his next presentation, that he has to make a choice on how he wants to present. That's a very, very important, because if we do not do that, all that the good work sometimes can be masked the way you tell. So it's like this, right? A good song, then a good singer, and a good composition also is important. All three are important, and a good situation in the movie. But these three things are very important: song, singer, and composition. So that's a point that Prabhu also has to make a note, that he's calm, quiet, and controlled. That's a good point. But there has to be some kind of an animation if it has to be in the presentation. That's an important aspect of it. He need to be a bit more free. Somehow this time I felt Prabhu was a bit very conscious about what he said. He looks to be very measured in his place. For his age and experience, I think, in my opinion, he can be a bit more free. He can be a bit, in Hindi they call it, right, bindas a bit. Be free. It's our own presentation. We are all friends and we are learning from each other. So slightly be open would have given him a bit more confidence. Somehow this time he was a bit very cautious. He was playing like a Dravid when he could have played like a Dhoni or a Sehwag. This is what I felt. I'm giving this example because in the presentation also Prabhu has talked about cricket, so I'm giving a cricket example. So forgive me, I'm not going to any materialistic thing, but I think I felt that, and there's no need to be like that. It can be a bit free. Keep the text to minimum in the slides. In this particular kind of a presentation, try to keep it minimum. If you have to have a lot of text, use animation so that point by point come. So you have a pause to deal with that point and then go to the next point. Sometimes even in my presentations, you see a lot of text. That is because I am going through the purport with all of you. It's not that I want to put a lot of text. The presentation of the class is a bit different, because again I repeat, I want all of us to together read the purport. So that's why I keep a lot of text in my slide, but normally try to avoid putting so much text in this thing. If you put, again I said, use animation. The important aspect Prabhu could have researched himself is that many times very people easily place mind in a negative context or always as a villain. Why like that? With mind we do so many things, right? With mind we have emotions. Mind can be best friend, but why in general in our scriptures mind is almost like treated as a villain? It has to be controlled, it has to be suppressed, it is lesser than intelligence. So many statements are there, right? Since Prabhu has researched so well, he could have asked this question to himself, because sometimes if you take these statements straight away from the scriptures, or if when somebody said you put it in a presentation, but there are certain points that you should challenge yourself. This is what we also tried to demonstrate when we had the shlokas in 9th chapter, where Krishna says about women. Krishna says that he will even save the devotee who has done an abominable act. We spent quite a bit of time in doing a kind of a debate on that, right? So in these also topics, one can have a debate in his own mind, or for his own preparation, why mind is a villain, why it can't be projected as a positive thing. So that could have given him a lot of ideas to explore what the importance of mind. Mind also does so many things, right? So that would have made the presentation, in my opinion, a bit more complete. But again, there is a restriction of time, half an hour, so it's impossible to cover everything. But I just thought, as an area of improvement, if Prabhu is giving this presentation in his Bhakti Vriksha classes or elsewhere, that point could have been that point would definitely add value. Overall, again I repeat, it's a good topic. Thanks a lot. Congratulations that you've chosen a good topic. Subject well researched, comment quiet, attempt to share a lot of information. And what I like most is the problem and solutions are well articulated and very simple terms. Practically we can follow it. So big thanks to Prabhu for coming up to do this wonderful session. So it will be good for us to remember and the importance of the art of mind control. Any other comments from anyone?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I wanted to ask one thing, Prabhu. Can I ask you?
Yeah. I will. Did you see my screen or no when I was sharing?
Prabhu, actually, we were able to see you on the video, but not the screen, Prabhu.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to, sorry. Yes, oh, sorry about it, my mistake. So this is what I wanted to present, sorry. So let Sumangal Prabhu read it once if he has got any doubts. Yeah. So, Chauhan Prabhu, you can ask now.
Prabhu, I just wanted to clarify. There was one comment about how to control the mind, making friends with the enemy. So I just wanted to understand a bit more on that part because I was not able to clarify what that comment meant actually. Is it to compromise our beliefs? Is it to what does it actually mean? Sorry, Prabhu, I wanted to ask this question.
Yeah, I think Sumangal Prabhu put that thing 1634. Uddhared Atmanatmana. So mind can be a good friend or mind can be a good enemy. I think that's what he wants. Prabhu, you want to share? You want to answer that, Prabhuji? Sumangal Prabhu.
Prabhu, can you
Prabhu,
repeat your question, please?
Prabhu, you had mentioned in one of the slides about controlling the mind by making friends with the enemy.
Okay. I refer to is this
Yes,
a metaphor that enemy? If you have an enemy, then how to go about it? Fighting with him is not the solution, right? So, but if we can make him a friend, yeah, by some way, then you not only what is called kill the enmity between the two, you and enemy, and then you make him a friend. So which is one stone two birds killed, you know, right?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Similarly, mind can be normally mind is a what do you call it's a enemy, you know, in normal sense. But then mind can be trained in a way or exposed to some stimuli where it becomes conversion of the mind takes place, and then it becomes your friend, and then you go along with that.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, thanks for the clarification. Just wanted to understand, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Again, once again, big thanks to SumangalaNandaSutdas Prabhu. Again, even though I talk so much because I'm supposed to talk about this, please know that even when I speak, if I have to speak, I'll make the probably same areas of improvement in me also come all over again. But again, here this forum is to be openly discussing and trying to be strongly firm in the philosophy of each one is going to teach other. Each one teach one philosophy. So it's a very transparent forum, transparent medium. That's why we are sharing these points so that we can remember. It's not only to Prabhu. It's to me also. It's to all of you. So in each of these sessions, so these are little things that we learn. It will immensely help us to grow better. So sometimes a small change can completely change your life sometimes.